Hi Shredettes, I'm your coach Hillary Hall and welcome to Shred Your Muscle 2.0. All right, today we have shoulders, abs, and cardio. We're going to do the cardio at the very end because that's whenever we burn past all of our glycogen storages and then we can burn the most fat in that time at the end of the workout. Cardio can look like hiking, elliptical, StairMaster, a long walk, a weighted vest walk, a jog, something that keeps your heart rate in that fat burning zone. You need a calculator for that. I have it linked below. We've got 6 exercises all back to back. In phase 1, we're doing a little bit of higher rep, a little bit more instability workout. So we're focusing on our balance, our core strength, just working the whole body as a one unit. Our reps are going to be 15. We have 6 shoulder exercises all back to back. The way that it's going to work is we're going to do one exercise, rest for 30 seconds, do a second set, rest, third set, rest. Then we'll have a whole minute before the next exercise. And that's to get some water, to stretch a little bit, grab heavier weight, kind of assess what kind of weight you want to use for the next exercise. And for reference, I have 5s. The shiny weights are the 8s, 10s, and 15s. We'll see if we get to the 15s today. Following shoulders, we've got abs. We've got 3 exercises, 3 sets each. All you'll need is a Swiss ball and your body. All right, you ready to get started? I know I am. Let's go.
All right, we're starting our workout out with rear delts because oftentimes these are held to the end of the workout whenever you've kind of lost all your strength and don't have the energy to put towards them. And it's unfortunate because rear delts help give you that round, beautiful, aesthetic shoulder look. This is working the tiny muscle in the back of the arm. What you're gonna do is have your feet together, lean way over the legs with a nice flat back, straight arms. Take your time, slow on the negative, and control the weight up and down. the upright row, we're going to get in a split stance here. So have your weight evenly distributed between both feet, but unstabilize yourself by having your back heel lifted off the floor. From here, you're going to draw your elbows up to the ceilings, keeping the dumbbells fairly close together as if they were one bar, and really squeeze at the top. You should feel this in the back of the arms and in the middle of the shoulder cap. We're continuing on with our staggered stance. Just make sure that you don't feel completely unbalanced. Your feet should be more like they're on railroad tracks rather than on a tightrope. From here, stand up nice and tall, belly button tucked in and glutes squeezed. With straight arms, raise them up laterally. You should feel this right on top of the middle of the shoulders. We are still creating some instability here by getting into the half kneeling position. Our shoulders over our hips, hips over our knee. Dumbbells are at the collarbone, palms face the collarbone, and we're going to drive those dumbbells up, keeping our arms in a parallel position. You'll want to definitely engage your core here to protect your spine and to create some strength and stability. The rotating of the wrists as you drive the dumbbells up to the ceiling is the magic. This is where we work all three parts of the shoulder head. We're continuing on with the half kneel. If your knee is starting to bother you, you can sit on a Swiss ball or on a bench or chair. For the Y press, we're going to have our elbows tucked in by our sides. Our palms are facing inward, and we're going to drive our arms up and out into a Y position. You're going to feel this in the front of the shoulder, and it is definitely a challenge. I invite you to start with light weight just to get used to the movement, but pressing them all the way out with this nice straight elbow at the top, taking your time and controlling the weight down and up. Our final shoulder exercise is the quadruped front raise. You're going to get on all fours, and I invite you to use a lightweight. You can see here I was a little overzealous. You could even do this exercise without weight, but between 1s, 3s, and 5s, I'm going with the 5 here. Getting on all fours, you're going to extend one leg all the way out behind you, and the opposite arm is going to have the dumbbell. Now, if this is too challenging for your stability, take your straight leg and just drop the toe down to the floor, keeping that leg straight. From here, you're going to extend the arm straight out in front of you, trying to get that bicep right by your ear. And notice that I'm dropping the dumbbell in front of my stabilizing hand. And that is so that I don't have to bend my elbow to get it down, to get my hand underneath my shoulder. So once you switch hands here, you're obviously going to switch your legs also. Pull that belly button in to stabilize your center, and then straighten out that arm, take it straight out in front of you. And this is quite the challenge. Our first ab exercise targets the obliques. So from here, we're going to stand on both legs. Our left leg is going to step back, and you're going to reach with your left hand all the way down to the floor until that hand gets completely flat. The right arm, on the other hand, has the dumbbell straight up overhead. You're trying to get the bicep as close to your ear the whole time. I'm not doing a really great job because I am extremely tired at this point. You could do no weight. You could do the 1s, 2s. I am holding a 5. I'm fighting through. I invite you to fight through with me. You are going to feel the work as you're coming up out of that kneeling position. So here, the hand goes down. Right here is where you should feel the oblique start to contract. This is your right oblique that's working. the runner's crunch, you're going to start laying flat on your back with your arms down by your side. We're going to drive one knee and the opposite arm up at the same time as you try to lift your complete full back off the floor. Now, if this is too difficult, you can just do a crunch, but I would like you to start to learn how to work the arm and the opposite leg at the same time, and just progress every single week, working towards getting all the way up to that tailbone and laying all the way back in between. For the Swiss ball crunch, you're going to start sitting on it like it's a chair, walking your knees out in front of you until you are able to allow your back to completely sink over the dome of the ball. Hands are going to go behind your head, open your abs as you reach all the way back, stretch all the way back, and then crunch down as hard as you can as you come up. Don't put the pressure on the head, rather just think about squeezing your belly button into your spine and getting a really good contraction at the top. If you feel too unstable to do crunches on a Swiss ball, you can do crunches on the floor, or if you have a Bosu or a half ball, you could do them there as well.